FEMA. Okay. Now I would like to invite our next resource person in today's webinar is Dr. Mohammad Masood Saab. He is working as assistant professor in CWRE. Now I would like to call Dr. Mohammad Masood Saab. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Christopher. Share some experiences and say a few words. The lecture delivered by Dr. Hamad Gilani was really very interesting and knowledgeable. Actually, my part was a bit introductory to introduce the participant about the satellite precipitation data, its formulation, what type of errors and uncertainties can we face in such type of data, their effective utilization. Due to some business of Dr. Hamad Gilani, we have shifted his lecture as the first lecture. So, starting from this is my formal presentation outline. Is it visible to you or not?
I think no, sir. It is not visible. No, sir, it is not visible.
Right, share तो कर दे. So, dear participants, can you listen me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So, this is the formal outline, starting from what is rain estimation, then estimation of precipitation using remote sensing, then what are the prominent satellite-based precipitation products, how to access and extract satellite precipitation data. Actually, the real challenge being faced in using satellite precipitation data is to access and extract the satellite data. With the invention of machine languages and other such tools and their application in water resources, water resources engineers are more now familiar and they are in a better position to use these products in a better way. Such a platform is Google Earth Engine. And how to access and extract the satellite data using Google Earth Engine, I am very much hopeful that the participants may have know the knowledge and they can try at their own and definitely will be able in a better position to extract the satellite precipitation data. Next is the accuracy of satellite precipitation data, how we can access these satellite estimates before their final application. So this is a bit introductory slide. Use why we need precipitation data. We need for short-term needs, medium-term needs, and long-term needs. Short terms, nowcasting of severe storms, weather forecasting, river management, and so. Medium term needs comprises of intra-seasonal variability agriculture, and long-term needs for climate change and hydrological planning. So this is about the conventional method rain gauges. It has certain advantages and disadvantages. The next development after the rain gauges was precipitation radar system. That is also a type of remotely sensed precipitation data. Radars has their own advantages and disadvantages. Then next come the rain estimation from the model using empirical approaches and so. These also has some advantages and disadvantages and limitations. Then comes the utilization of satellite precipitation data. As we are all aware that use of such systems, maybe rain gauges or radars or models. Definitely, they need some basic infrastructure and then training. Usually, gauges are the most conventional and mostly widely used application method used to assess the precipitation, but these have their own limitations. Our gauge network is not very dense according to World Met Organization standards. So, what should we do to do the research and other such development and engineering activities? What we have other options. The other options are the satellite-based precipitation product. When can we use these? When we have no gauge or radar data, when we cannot entirely trust on the model and get supporting evidence for model prediction and so and so. So these are the typical situation where we can use tropical convection, mid-latitude convection, and storm moving on shore from sea. These are the application where satellite-based precipitation product can help us. Now, how before going to the product, how these are the satellite precipitation products are formed. There are many forums around the globe, NASA and JAXA, and so each country and each region doing work in space sciences have developed their own observatories, launched their satellites in the orbit. So this is a brief, you can say, introduction or list of satellites you can see available in the slide that are now working in developing satellite precipitation products. The most latest is this one, GPM Core Observatory. You can see from the position of the mouse cursor. So this is the latest equipment installed by NASA. It started working in 2014. It's a joint collaboration of NASA, USA, and JAXA, Japan. So the products formed by the GPM are considered the most reliable and the most accurate. So all these satellite products keep on revolving in their orbits around the globe and in a certain swath width and keep on recording data. So this recording data is then transferred to their working stations where certain algorithms and procedures and processes are applied in order to transform this remotely sensed data into the precipitation product. So this is a brief history about the satellite product, types of satellites which are usually used in collecting this data towards formulation of satellite-based precipitation products. There are two major types. One is the geostationary satellites. These are visible infrared satellites. So these have certain advantages: good space and time resolution, observation in real time. These are in a position to sample oceans and remote regions, consistent measurements. In addition to advantages, they have also certain disadvantages. They record the cloud top properties instead of rain. So due to this one, many mistakes can occur. It does not capture rain from the warm clouds. The second major type of satellites that are used in collecting the information towards formulation of satellite-based precipitation products are passive microwave observatories from polar orbiting satellites. These has also certain advantages and disadvantages. These can also sample remote regions. Their measurements are more consistent, more physically based, more accurate than visible infrared estimates. In addition to these advantages, they also have some disadvantages because their time and space resolution is limited. being other satellite products, these are also indirect measurement, and beam filling is also an other, you can say, disadvantage of such type of products. And these also cannot capture rain from warm clouds over land. So this is the formulation process of the satellite-based precipitation products. From here, the satellite imagery is recorded. This imagery is then transformed to certain stations where some algorithms are applied, and then some satellite-based product is formed. All the major type of satellites have two products, two types of products. One is the early or real time, and the second one is the you can say refined or research one. The early one products are usually released after you can say 6 to 8 hours of the observations, and the real time or early products have further two types. One is early and other is late. Early product is available for the user after you can say 4 to 6 hours of the observation, and late is available for the user about 12 hours, and then the refined and the bias corrected products. Uh, all these satellite based estimates have gauge data around the globe. Using this gauge data, they remove some biases or other uncertainties before releasing these products. In application, we have observed that though the biases have been removed in their research version or research products, but though being an indirect approach, using an indirect approach or indirect mechanism, there is significant difference if we compare the satellite-based products with the gauge observations. So this is a slide that will be helpful in understanding what is how these satellite-based products are formed. So this is a tile or you can say the file of the satellite-based products. So this is the iMerge. So in each file, there is complete description about the file. For example, if we go to the title, this is 3B day, LMS merge, 3 iMerge. This is the date, this is the starting time, and this is the ending time. So the end user should be very much clear what type of product they are choosing, means early, late, or research or refined, and what is the date and time. Now, most of the satellite products with the development of new recording mechanisms and procedures, some satellite products have started to give 30 or resolution satellite products. Sorry, 30 minutes means half hourly products. So when we are going to use these products for daily, because in Pakistan we have to compare if we want to assess or validate these products, the only reference data with us is PMD gauge data. That is for most of the stations, that is daily accumulated precipitation in millimeter. According to available information with the PMD, this information is recorded at 8 a.m. daily. But these satellite products are released with reference to GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So when we are going to select the tiles, we will have to keep in focus what is the time gap between the time mentioned on the product and the R gauge observation. So due to this variation in time and error that may be induced, we can remove that one. So this is these are some of the most widely used satellite-based products. These are, for example, iMerge. and TMPA. These are the products of GPM, Global Precipitation Mission, a program launched by the NASA USA. Here, this is the product name. Each product has a spatial resolution. This is the global coverage, and this is the temporal resolution. Now, these products are available in a variety of temporal resolutions. Spatial resolution may be there. You can say they have become finer up to 0.1 degree into 0.1 degree daily. Previously, it was 0.25 degree. 0.1 degree means about 10 to 11 kilometer. So in 10 to 11 kilometer, we may have one value. Similarly, this is the global coverage. This is the lag time. This lag time actually describes, you can, if there is no explicit description about the product, for example, here we say iMerge final. This is the refined version of the GPM released by the producer or manufacturer after the bias correction. So its lag time means latency is 4 months. It is available to the end user after the 4 months. For example, if we talk about today, it's 27th of October. So now the data of the month of June may be available for the end user of this type of research product. No, iMerge, instead of iMerge, there are other products such as GSMap, Cherubs, and so. But you should be very much clear in selecting the product. Okay, what is its latency? What is its type? If there is no explicit description from here, lag time, we can have access. For example, iMerge late, its lag time is 18 hours, means it is available after 18 hours. This is the TMPA. Here, iMerge late and early. iMerge has another type I have not included here. iMerge early, that is available about 6 hours after the observation. Here is the availability from where data is available. Now, I think from 2014, and they are working more and more, and they are extending the range of this data. So this is the CMORPH, this is the Persian, their global coverage, and their lag time and spatial coverage. So I have just shared some of the links with you from where we can download the data. The next step is we should download the data from the accurate site or the designated site. For this one, we will have to go through from the for the each product, there are user guide, user manual, or reader's document. For example, if I share with you some document about the iMerge, so this is the README file for the iMerge multi-satellite precipitation products of the GIS version. These are updated frequently. For example, you can see here updated on 12 May 2021. In such files, these are available, but we have to explore the site in detail so we can have access to these files. If I have a bit review of the contents, the detailed description is available, what types of files are here, how can we download these files. Now these are the GIS versions of these files. Because being a satellite product user, we are quite familiar with remote sensing and GIS, and the tools in Pakistan we mostly use is ArcGIS or so and so. So they have developed about all the assembler, or you can say manufacturer of the satellite precipitation products, have developed GIS versions of the files. So this is about how to display this one. If I go through this one, so there will be this is the description, early, late, or final. But what I want to say, you can have a complete information about these files, their accuracy, their availability. You should be very clear. One thing, you are choosing the right site, website from where you are going to download the data, and the right version. If I share my experience with you, when I was working on this data, I downloaded the data from one site, I think for 4 to 5 years. When I downloaded the data, then at one page of the website was given a note that this data is not applicable for research work. So it means results of the such data will not be authenticated or more accurate. So we will have to more clear from what site we are going to download the data. So this is the description of various types of files, iMerge, early, late, and their latency. So this is the, you can say, temporal resolution, means 30 minutes after half-hourly files are available, 3 hour available, 1 day available, 3 day available, 7 day available, and at monthly time scale, these are also available. So this is the early, means real time, and this is the final version. So this is about how we can differentiate. These are the names of these files. For example, 3BHHR for hourly, this is day for daily, and this is MO for monthly. Now, if we have accessed the satellite precipitation data, we have downloaded that and in final version. And what is the issue with this one? So this is the scatter plot of gauge precipitation data. I think this is for 4 years. For these precipitation products, one was the CHIRPS, other was the GSMAP, and the third one is the iMerge. So from here, you can say at daily time scale, there is no, you can say, a definite relationship between these files. That maybe you say this is discouraging what the utilization of then satellite precipitation data is. So this is another, you can say, for the months of June and July, for the month of June 2019, I have made a comparison between PMD, iMerge final, and iMerge late. You can say a significant difference between daily basis. From here, we can say that it's not possible to utilize this data. This is another scatter plot on the daily basis for these products. But what happens when we go to 10 daily? No, sorry, this is the 10 daily. When we move to 10 daily, we have a better picture than the daily. If we say this is daily, then this is 10 daily. Means when we lump or increase the time span, results start going better. So this is a comparison between PMD, iMerge final, and iMerge late for the month of May, June, and July. So this is the PMD data. And this is the iMerge final. You can see from here that the results of iMerge final are a bit better than iMerge late. But when we move towards monthly time scale, means then from here you can see we have plotted the R-square of these two, these three data products, CHIRPS, GSMAP, and iMerge. We have R-square values of greater than 0.90. So such results give us a hope or encourage us, yes, these satellite products have some potential to supplement the gauge data. or we can use these satellite products for to supplement the gauge data. This is another view for a particular station. Kalam, this is the PMD, this is the I-merge final, and this is the I-merge late for the 3 months. From here, we can see that these are the results of 2019. I have chosen this year because the average annual precipitation was higher in this region. So in order to see what happens when the precipitation is higher, what is the efficiency of the satellite-based precipitation products. So to see the picture in another way, I have plotted the gauge and the satellite-based products for the 2015. This is the 2015 from here. From daily data, we see that the results are very discouraging, and we may become we may conclude that there is no use of satellite precipitation product. But when we go on 10 daily and monthly, we have some ray of hope. Yes, these can be used for supplementing the conventional gauge data. So this is the comparison on 3 monthly basis, PMD, I-merge final, and I-merge late for different stations: Chitral, Kalam, Alam Jabba, Bonair, Gadi Dupatta, Chatar Class, and the Lahore city. So in addition to daily, 10 daily, monthly, our precipitation system has also seasonal variability. We have two major types of systems. One is the monsoon, the dominant precipitation factor that comprises from May to August, and or you can say late September, and other are the westerly waves from January to March or April. So I have made a comparison for the month of March. From here, we can see that our satellite precipitation products are underestimating. Means PMD values are higher and these are the lower. When we go to July, for the month of July, we observe that the satellite precipitation product overestimated the precipitation. So this is an other, you can say, observation or feeling that has also been pointed many researchers that because the assessment of satellite, assessment of your or estimation of precipitation by satellite is an indirect approach. So because they note the difference in temperature of the cloud's top surface and then transform into precipitation. So there, because the clouds formation of westerly waves and monsoon is a bit different, so their performance varies. So we will have also to keep in scenario what type of precipitation system we are going to analyze and their cloud formation. This is not a blind work, just take one satellite product and make a comparison with other one and give some suggestions and results. This is the annual comparison of the various satellite-based precipitation products across the Pakistan. For this purpose, we have distributed the Pakistan into 5 regions. From here, from the annual outlook, we can say yes, there is some resemblance between precipitation data and the gauge data. This gave us a ray of hope. Now, next we have satellite precipitation data. Then how we can validate or assess these data? There are usually two types of statistical indices used. One are continuous and other are categorical tests. Uh, Most frequently used, you can see these tests in most of the research work around the globe. These are the biases, relative biases, root mean square error, correlation coefficient, mean absolute error, and so and so. These tests I have given here in this slide, these are called continuous, means it gives a lump sum value for the whole data set. So these are the continuous validation or assessment test. I will like to share the results of the CC value, monthly CC range along the across the whole Pakistan for different satellite products. These are the iMerge real time, TMPA, that is referred to as TRMM, most commonly used. Then this is the CMORPH and this is the Persian. From this CC value is computed using the gauge as a reference data. From here, we can see these blue points shows the correlation value from 0.7 to 7.7 to 1. At monthly scale, we have observed a good correlation between the satellite data and the gauge data, which give us a hope, yes, satellite data can be used to supplement the conventional gauge data. Now, if we compute the biases at the daily scale, so it's not very much encouraging. We have observed large value of biases at daily scales when we compare daily data with the gauge data. That is why we have to opt for bias correction techniques. So keep in mind when you are going to use satellite precipitation data on daily or shorter time scale, don't use it without certain bias correction techniques. Many bias correction techniques are available. Some researchers have also sorted some techniques most useful. So we will have to use one of these techniques for bias correction for the satellite data at the daily time scale. Root mean square error. Root mean square error is a combination of two types of errors, systematic error and random errors. Systematic errors, as all we are well aware, that are due to the systems involved in computation, this process, and random errors are that are occasional error or the local errors. From here, these using the 92 gauging stations across the Pakistan, we have computed root mean square error and observed that the value of RMSE is significant. You can see that another trend from here that we can visualize is that these are the high precipitation area where average annual precipitation is higher, where this mouse pointer is moving. So in such areas, there are higher value of uncertainties as compared to this seashore adjacent areas where the average precipitation is lesser. It means where the precipitation is higher, chances of uncertainties are also higher at daily time scale. So this is the daily correlation coefficient that is also not very good. Though at some stations, the highest value you can say it is in the range of 0.5 to 0.6, whereas on monthly and yearly time scale, the values are quite significant and encouraging. Now, the other type of you can say categorical test we use for assessment of satellite data are probability of detection, false alarm ratio, and critical success index. Usually, due to because the satellite estimation process is an indirect process. For example, I want to share my one experience with you. In monsoon, in July, late July and August, we observe a lot of cloud movement in our skies. The people who are living here in Lahore and in the upper Punjab area. But we see at some time we observe that clouds had covered the whole sun and there is darkness. But after a shorter time, winds come and transport these clouds from this location to another location. Means if the satellite has crossed that point or on that time when clouds were there, he or satellite noted that the clouds are at this particular location. So using the satellite will report that the rain may be causing at or happening at this particular location. But due to wind movements, the clouds are transported to some other locations. So this is an other, you can say, bottleneck or a source of error because the movement of cloud and the cloud bursting or precipitation. So these A, B, and C are some events. These are the categorical tests. These are the event-based, not continuous. So if we have yearly data, so A represents the number of times that both the rain is, you can say, A means that both the satellite and gauge data report that there is rainfall. B represents the event we represent it as satellite says there is rain, but gauge say there is no rain. And C is the number of times that rain observed by the rain gauge is not detected by the satellites. So these are some categorical tests that are used to compute this one. So probability of detection means how probable are satellite product to detect or assess the rainfall. So these are the results across the Pakistan of how POD. From here, at daily time scale, we are not very much, the results are not very much encouraging that the probability of, from the probability of the satellite products. Next is the false alarm ratio, means when the gauge data say there is no rain and the satellite say there is rain, we refer to this term as false alarm. The results of the false alarm also depict that we have observed higher values of false alarm across the Pakistan at daily time scale, means these results are not very much encouraging. This is the critical success index. These are also similar to the results of the probability of detection and false alarm ratio. The results are not very much encouraging. Now, another thing is uncertainties. So at the start, we have discussed biases. What is bias? Bias is the average difference between the gauge and the satellite-based product. A bias is further decomposed into three elements: hit, miss, and false. These are, you can say, these are three types of biases. Hit means when the satellite and gauge both get data show that there is rainfall. We refer to that one as hit. And miss biasness or bias means when satellite has missed precipitation. when your gauge says that there is rainfall, but satellite say there is no rainfall. And third one is the false. False bias means when satellite report that there is rainfall and but gauge say there is no precipitation. We refer to this one as a false bias. So total bias, we can further decompose it into three types of biases, and it gives us a clear picture how our satellite product is behaving. Either in it missed precipitation are higher, false reporting is higher, or means hit is higher. In similar way, we can root mean square error, as I have earlier mentioned, we can decompose it into systematic errors and random errors. These are the formulas from the literature I have obtained to how we can decompose these root mean square error into systematic errors and random errors. So this is a picture of hit bias. Means when both the satellite and the rainfall and the gauge data reports that there is precipitation. These results are based on data at daily time scale. So from this, the results are not very much encouraging. Means the results along the zero, where hit bias is zero, are the most appropriate. At some locations, we have higher values, and at the lower locations, we have some locations we have lower values. So next come the missed biases. From here, we can see higher values of missed biases are observed in locations where the average annual precipitation is higher. In regions, these regions in you can say Murray, Azad Kashmir area, Muzaffarabad, Kotli, and so, where the higher values of missed biases are obtained. And in these areas where the average annual precipitation is lower, we have observed lesser values of missed biases. Then comes the false reporting by the satellites. The results of the false reporting by the satellite is also identical. Less higher values of false reporting is observed in areas where average precipitation is higher, and lesser is observed in areas where average precipitation is lower. Then the spatial distribution of systematic and random errors. From here, we can see that higher values of errors are observed in areas where the precipitation is higher, and lesser is observed in the areas where the precipitation is lower. So this is another glimpse of the random errors. From this discussion, we have observed that the most problematic areas for application of satellite products are the areas where the average annual precipitation is higher, the Kashmir areas and the Galyats, where the major part of the precipitation is from monsoon area, and we have to focus what are the limitations of these satellite products in addressing such areas. So this is and from my side. Now I will encourage for question answer sessions if the participant have some questions or some feelings, because in online I think participant have no very much you can say ability to respond or correspond. So the resource person keep on moving without knowing is anyone with him or not. So from the participants, if they want to have some questions, please.
Participant can raise their hands so we can unmute their mics. If anyone have any question, kindly raise his hand.
One thing I will share with the participants I have overlooked here.
So we have one question from Zishan Ali. Zishan Ali, your mic is unmuted. You can unmute your mic, your own self.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Myself Zishan Ali from Center of Student. Sir, I have question. I am using GCM data for future hydrological response of basin, a store basin. The GCM precipitation data statics with observed one is just satisfactory. How we can improve GCM precipitation data?
Uh, Dear Nishan, if you say that it is satisfactory,
Yes, sir.
then you may have applied some statistical tests or other techniques from where the results are satisfactory. If the literature supports that your results are satisfactory, then I think you should move forward and apply that data. Then I think you need why you are feeling that you want to improve that data. If you have found that the results of statistical tests or other techniques have showed that these results are satisfactory. So I don't think so you need to go further. If you feel some, you can say gray areas, then you have to go for application of certain bias correction techniques and other one. So what was the resolution of your satellite data? It
100 kilometers.
means this is data of snow,
Sir, this is precipitation data.
liquid precipitation.
Ji, sir.
You means ke there is one value in 100 kilometer means this resolution is 0.1 degree into 0.1 degree.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what's its temporal resolution?
Sir, its temporal resolution is same 100 kilometer, but its regression value of precipitation will be zero point 0.2, zero point 0.3 between them. But as we see temperature, it's 0.9 to zero point 0.8 to zero point 0.9.
No. Listen. One thing is, what is the its temporal resolution? Means you are using daily data,
Daily data, sir. Daily data.
daily data. It means you, as you have said that you have observed the values of R square 0.26 and so and so. So I
Yes, sir.
don't think these are satisfactory values. You will have to go for bias correction technique. There are certain bias correction techniques such as moving average and so and so. You can observe these in literature. I think as you have said that it was satisfactory, I don't think so your results are satisfactory. You definitely have to apply bias correction techniques to improve the results. And you can find such bias correction techniques in literature.
Oh, sir. Thank you, sir.
One thing I missed during the precipitation for the new user or the how can we see uh, our precipitation tiles in here? What is the spatial resolution? So इधर साइड पे आ जाए ना. So this is the spatial resolution, how a tile works. These are the boxes. So when we are going to, or anyone is going to use certain satellite products, he should play with it, okay, how it is behaving. This is the resolution. I think this is the iMerge. This is the finest resolution. From here, you can, using this identify figure, what is the cursor value from here. So this is pixel value is 108. So you should also be familiar with that one. For example, if I overlay it with this one, so you can see the this one. So low. Now the box size is quite clear. Here the boxes are a bit larger. This is the Persian. Its resolution is 0.25 degree into 0.25 degree. And this is the iMerge. The box sizes are quite small. Its resolution is 0.1 degree into 0.1 degree. So anything else from the viewers or participants?
Anyone else have any question from the participant side? No. I think, sir, we should move forward because there is no other questions from the participant side.